Clerk, call the roll.
Trustee Healy?
Here.
Trustee Katsinas?
Here.
Trustee Malani?
Here.
Trustee Compass?
Here.
Trustee Reardon?
Here.
Trustee Radiszewski?
Here.
Mayor Pico?
Here.
Please rise for the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approval of the November 15th, 2021 Committee of the Whole minutes.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Katsinas.
I move to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of the Committee of the Whole on November 15th, 2021.
Second.
Any changes? Call the roll.
Trustee Katsinas?
Aye.
Trustee Radiszewski?
Aye.
Trustee Healy?
Aye.
Trustee Malani?
Aye.
Trustee Compass?
Aye.
Trustee Reardon?
Aye.
Mayor Pico?
Aye.
Resolution approving a master license agreement for the co-location of small wireless facilities located within the Village of Orland Park Municipal Rights-of-Way, Chicago SMSA Limited Partnership, doing business as Verizon Wireless.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Compass.
I move to recommend adopting a resolution entitled Resolution Approving a Master License Agreement for the Co-location of Small Wireless Facilities Located within the Village of Orland Park Municipal Rights-of-Way, Chicago SMSA Limited Partnership, doing business as Verizon Wireless.
Second. And just to be clear, this is essentially to, it's required by law by both the federal government and the state government for us to enter into this agreement, correct?
Correct.
Any other questions or comments? Call the roll.
Trustee Compass?
Aye.
Trustee Reardon?
Aye.
Trustee Healy?
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas?
Aye.
Trustee Malani?
Aye.
Trustee Radiszewski?
Aye.
Mayor Pico?
Aye.
RFP 21-061 Custodial Services.
Mr. Mayor,
Trustee Healy.
I move to recommend to the Village Board awarding RFP 21-061 to Blooming Facility LLC of Justice, Illinois for the 2022 through 2024 with the village's option to extend for an additional 2 years for an amount not to exceed the annual board-approved budgeted amounts. And I move to recommend to the Village Board to amend the current custodial services contract with Total Building Services, Inc., if needed, on a month-to-month basis to prevent a lapse in custodial services for $40,864.43 per month, and to authorize the village manager to execute all related contracts subject to village attorney review.
Second.
Any comments or questions?
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Katsinas.
I just have a concern about the limited amount of work the company has done for other big accounts, such as ourselves. Makes reference to an industrial facility in Bridgeview, a church in LaGrange, and custodial services for the Village of Justice. I guess a little, given the difference, perhaps there's a reason for that difference. I'm just concerned, will they be able to handle this account?
Yeah, when we looked at we talked with the references, the first location actually has 1 million square foot, which we don't have that much. So it's quite a big facility there. They do have other smaller ones noted. Justice is a little bit smaller, of course, than Orland Park. But all the references, both the two lowest, gave good references and response to how they manage their people and the work that's done in the. So it was a tough decision to make, but they're capable from what we understand. We also put in the contract a 90-day period of evaluation. If for whatever reason they fail, we can always go to the next lowest bidder. We'll come back to you guys for approval. If they just can't handle it, we can proceed that way.
Okay, there's also concern their charge per hour is quite a bit more than the others, like their extra work or
Correct.
additional hours. But you wouldn't want it to be as bid on one thing and then make it up in the cost per hour.
Correct. And the cost per hour is as needed. Special cleaning services, such as we had Something happened at the Metro Station. We had to do some cleanup there, some special cleanings that we had at the FLC. But we didn't have a lot compared to the regular standard amounts that we do every day. So roughly about 20K was spent last year on those special cleanings.
Okay, well, encouraged to know after 90 days, if they're not performing, then,
Correct.
okay. Thank you, Joel.
We'll bring it back then.
Any other comments? Call the roll.
Trustee Healy?
Aye.
Trustee Radiszewski?
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas?
Aye.
Trustee Malani?
Aye.
Trustee Compass?
Aye.
Trustee Reardon?
Aye.
Mayor Peacock?
Aye.
Centennial Park Aquatic Center daily admission fee.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Compass.
I move to recommend to the village board to approve increasing the daily admission fee for the Centennial Park Aquatic Center to $10 for residents, discounted to $7 for residents after 5 p.m., and to increase non-resident fees to $22 Monday through Thursday and $25 Saturdays, Sundays, and holidays.
Second.
Any comments? Call the roll.
Trustee Compass?
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas?
Aye.
Trustee Healy?
Aye.
Trustee Malani?
Aye.
Trustee Reardon?
Aye.
Trustee Radiszewski?
Aye.
Mayor Peacock?
Aye.
153rd Street and Ravinia Avenue intersection improvements, Phase 1 alternative analysis.
Mr. Mayor. Okay. Somebody down there?
I didn't hear it.
Mr. Chairman, then.
Trustee Malani.
Okay. Move to recommend authorizing staff to proceed with 153rd Street and Ravinia Avenue intersection improvements project utilizing option 2, the design that adds a southbound right turn lane on Ravinia Avenue.
Second.
Can we get a presentation on the three alternatives?
Mr. Mayor and trustees, we have a short presentation. So earlier this year, the village board approved a contract for V3 to study the 153rd Street and Ravinia Avenue intersection. If you look at our Ravinia Avenue intersection from 143rd to 159, the entire corridor has been upgraded except for this intersection, and the intent of this effort is to study this improvements and then go after for grants from various state and federal funds to get that improvement done. So just give you an update where we are. This is how the intersection looks like for now, where we have traffic signals hanging from wires on wood poles, and this is the intersection. On the northwest corner, we have AT&T building. On the northeast side, we have the Whole Food, and then the other two sides have other businesses at that corner. Right now, it is one lane in each direction with a center left turn lane. That's in all four directions, and that's how we have it. So this was the scope of work that we issued to V3 consultant, is to analyze the intersection, what upgrades can be done, and then once those upgrades will be done, then the signals will be coordinated with LaGrange Road signals, and then improve any pedestrian or ADA-related issues at the intersection. So they have been working since June of this year, and they have submitted some options. Staff has worked very closely with them on the various options, and then we'll be presenting those options to you. We also did gathered traffic counts, as well as we compared that to traffic counts that was developed by CMAP for 2050. And most of the roadways that are currently designed are shooting for the traffic volume that we expect in 2050. So we have developed three options, and we'll present those three options to you graphically, as well as we will try to explain that. And the first option is to maintain the existing intersection as it exists. Second option is to add a southbound right turn lane. And then the third option is to look at a roundabout at that intersection. So this is the first option as it exists. Basically, we are maintaining the entire intersection as it exists, except for improvements. The slightly blue part that you see that are right-of-way acquisition that we need to do to improve the turn radii at all four corners, but those are relatively minor, and we don't think that will be an issue for us to acquire that piece of property and move forward with the design. So other than that, we will improve the ADA-related elements wherever it's needed. So in general, only temporary easements are needed, and signal and pedestrian access is upgraded. Funding is more readily available because we're maintaining the intersection configuration as it is, so the construction dollar volume is relatively lower compared to the other two options. The cons is that in the 2050 traffic volume, we see that there is a need for a right turn lane, which we're not accommodating, but the intersection can work without it, but it would be preferred that we can accommodate that, as it shows about 18% traffic volume increase in that direction.
Mr. Mayor?
Trustee Healy?
Khurshid, what's the, you said funding won't be a problem, or is going to be, funding from who?
Funding from state,
Okay,
from IDOT.
so they will give us money for that?
We will apply for it, and then we'll compete with other projects. But because this intersection, if we go with that, the request for fund is relatively lower, so then that's what makes it a little bit easier to get that fund. The higher the dollar value, the more competition goes.
Okay, thank you.
So this is the second option that we looked at, is still exactly the same as everything else, but except on the southbound approach, we are recommending that we add a right turn lane, which requires us to acquire all of that, right away that we would have to acquire. This is the AT&T building. So it is still doable, it's very doable. It just adds a little bit of complication in terms of some utilities that we have to deal with that is currently in that location. So in that regard, we would have to acquire the right-of-way, as well as we have to relocate those utilities out of that area. So that is the challenge, but it is a preferred solution for us. Otherwise, the intersection is very similar to what it is in alternate one. So it's an increased operation. It makes it better. Same upgrades as we mentioned in alternative one. It addresses the future operations with minimal right-of-way acquisition. Con is that it increased the design and construction cost and cost of relocating the water main, stormwater, and gas lines that is in that area that we just showed you. Just wanted to show you the overall, if you look at this, the level of service, which is a measure in traffic engineering about how much delay each approach will have with these improvements, and that's what we're showing here, is that if we go with southbound right turn lane with signal coordination with LaGrange Road, you can see that we are operating in either from A to C, depending on which approach we are looking at. So that is the best part about it. But as you can see, even without those, the signal operates, but the better design would be is to accommodate the right turn lane with signal coordination with LaGrange Road. This is a third option that we looked. As you can see, it's a lot more work, a lot more effort. But based on our experience at the roundabout here at the Village Hall, as well as 151st and West Avenue, we believe that this is not the best solution for us, and it also complicates our effort to secure funding for the project. It definitely is a better solution in terms of traffic operation at the intersection and the safety data that we have available for roundabout, but we believe that we can achieve most of that even in option 2. So for that reason, this option was not the one that we recommended. Just give you an idea about what the estimated cost as of today, just in construction cost. Alternate 1 is about $1 million, alternate 2 is about 1.4, and you can see the roundabout jumps up to $2.1 million. There is about, I would add another 20 to 25% for phase 2, phase 3, and construction engineering, right-of-way acquisition, all those details that would be required in addition to this construction cost. So for that reason, we think that it is the middle of the path, and if for any reason we cannot do this, we can always go back to alternate 1 that would be a reasonable option. So that is our summary, that we are recommending that if you agree that we can proceed with the alternate two, and then we can go from there, and if you have any questions.
Any comments or questions?
Mr. Mayor,
Trustee Reardon?
a little background on this. Why is it in this state now? Is it just over time, it's got more use than we thought, the traffic patterns have changed? Why are the lights hanging opposed to permanent? I mean, I lived here a long time, I just don't really know the history of why this is in this condition right now.
I think this intersection is in this condition, I would say, over 10 years. We never had invested funds to improve this intersection. I think we started improving at 143rd and Ravinia, then I think we're kind of moving in that direction, so this is the last intersection, but all in all, it's the time that we never took, we never invested anything in these intersections.
And, you know, and my follow-up question would be, you know, you don't want to be cheap now and then have to do it again in 5 or 10 years. I mean, 2050 is a long time away, but is there any sense of doing recommendation 2 is going to save us time, money down the road, opposed to just doing the, you know, a little bit more cost-effective?
No, I think investing in number 2 will take care of, I think, foreseeable future. I mean, till 2050, I don't see any issue that it will be a concern.
Okay, thanks.
Other questions? So I have a question. You showed the, all of the wait times at the signal for options 1 and 2. I'm assuming that the roundabout alleviates those even more, right? So back to Trustee Reardon's point of we're looking at 2050 when these volumes go up, and, you know, obviously, you know, him and I in particular, given where we live, go through that intersection a lot, and it's already messy. And you can see where it's going to get messier in the future, especially with Orland Park Place there, you know, and when, you know, you continue to see improvements in the Whole Foods, you know, intersection as well. Plus you see the other changes in Ravinia and 151st in LaGrange. Ravinia, we know, is going to start to take some of that traffic off as, you know, in fact, we're already seeing it. I mean, today, going through 151st, it was backed up 2/3 of the way to 153rd, right? So what's the thought process on that?
So the mayor, the best solution, if we can say that, is still a roundabout, but because of the complications we have experienced in terms of our users' acceptance for a roundabout, we thought a middle path for that is to go, but throughout the country, you can see data that the roundabout over time has the best solution in terms of the traffic flows that it offers, and also the reduction in type of accident that causes injuries. It really goes down at these intersections. So a four-approached intersection has many rear-end accidents where a driver thinks that the front car will go through the yellow light and he slams on the brake, and then there's rear-end accidents. Those are which is not the case for our roundabout. But we have experienced lately in our new roundabout that there is a reluctance in our residents for accepting a roundabout as a means of traffic device. So that is our thought process behind it, but we're looking for some, you know, division for the leadership in that regard. That.
So I don't disagree with you that our residents push back on roundabouts, but I also know, I look outside my front window of the office here, and there used to be 10, 12, 14 cars lined up. You don't see that anymore, right? Now, you know, maybe there are some people who don't go that way anymore because they don't like roundabouts. We still have people, and believe me, I've seen it. I've seen people go the wrong way on roundabouts. I've seen people stop in the middle of the roundabout. So it's not like they completely have it down yet, but it's gotten better.
It certainly has.
Over time. It's going to continue to get better. And when are we looking at this project being done?
So one thing that you said, we recently did traffic data as part of the Orland taste that we did, and the traffic volume hasn't gone down on Ravinia Avenue. We have data from this year of August that shows that the traffic volume has been maintained. So some people may have switched around, but overall the traffic volume is maintained. We're looking at this in the next 3 to 5 years. The 3 would be the really quickest, fastest that we could do, but I will say with the funding situation that we have currently in place, we're looking for probably getting it done about 5 years.
Mr. Mayor, don't you think in 3 to 5 years, people are going to have a different opinion about roundabouts at the time? I mean,
And you're right on that, trustee, that over time, the acceptance of roundabout has gotten better throughout the nation. As people drive through it, they learn how to drive it. So that is definitely, I concur with you, but I think as a staff, we were reacting to what we kind of.
Yeah, and I know, and I've had these conversations with you as well, and I understand, but as I'm looking at it, and, I guess what would be helpful, at least for me, is to know, you show that number 1.4 and 2.1, I think it was, right?
Yes, yes.
That doesn't include the utility relocations or the right-of-way acquisition. Obviously, with the roundabout, it's got the most of both. So it'd be good to see, I think, the overall costs of both, to see what's the best long-term solution.
Okay.
I guess what we don't want to do is, if the traffic volumes are going to go up and knowing how much traffic's going through there, do we want to, be in a position where 20 years from now, we got to redo the thing again because we see more volume, especially when 159th and LaGrange, that PD's site redevelops, which it will at some point, and then Ravinia gets connected through, and we see even more traffic coming through that. Do we want to have another stoplight there in the middle, or, that would be nice to know what those projections are. Of course, I could also see the downside of only having traffic lights at 143rd, 151st, and 159th, and all the traffic lights on LaGrange, but bringing so much traffic over to Ravinia. But I guess over time, people figure that out, and it ends up smoothing itself out.
So Mayor, we definitely can go back and took a little bit deeper dive in what would it be total cost for this project, and then compare that to alternate two, and come back to you.
And I know you said there was more money available for the, for the lower priced projects, but as I recall, there was federal money involved with the roundabouts, right? For the two that we did?
Yes, both of them.
So would it open up more money if we did the roundabout than, because the other two, I'm assuming, would just be state funding?
So anything less than $2 million, we'll be looking generally for the local funding, the local STP funding. But anything above $2 million, we'll probably be going for some more federal funding, which is what will be the case for the roundabout.
Okay. Any other thoughts or comments? I guess what I would do is I would entertain a motion to table this and just get that more information, because, we're talking about a 2050 solution, so what's the best solution for 2050?
Will do.
So I'll entertain a motion to table.
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll.
Trustee Campus?
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas?
Aye.
Trustee Healy?
Aye.
Trustee Malani?
Aye.
Trustee Reardon?
Aye.
Trustee Radiszewski?
Aye.
Mayor Pika?
Aye.
Resolution making the FY 2022 proposed annual budget available for public inspection and setting a public hearing date.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Radiszewski.
I move to recommend adopting a resolution entitled Resolution Making the Fiscal Year 2022 Proposed Annual Budget Available for Public Inspection and Setting a Public Hearing Date.
Second.
Any questions or comments? Call the roll.
Trustee Radiszewski?
Aye.
Trustee Reardon?
Aye.
Trustee Healy?
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas?
Aye.
Trustee Malani?
Aye.
Trustee Campus?
Aye.
Mayor Pika?
Aye.
An ordinance amending Title IX, Chapter 7 of the Orland Park Village Code in regard to parking of motor vehicles across designated parking stall lane markings. Recommended amended ordinance.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Reardon.
I move to recommend adopting an ordinance entitled An Ordinance Amending Title IX, Chapter 7 of the Orland Park Village Code in regard to parking of motor vehicles across designated parking stall lane markings.
Second.
Any questions or comments?
Mr. Chairman?
Trustee Campus.
I have no issues with this. I'm just curious if there was a cause or something that was originating this as to why we're adding this.
having problem with locations throughout Orland Park and the parking lots, particularly the mall, where people are double parking their vehicles, causing issues. And for safety, we'd like to be able to cite these people accordingly.
Works for me. Thanks, Chief.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Call the roll.
Trustee Reardon?
Aye.
Trustee Malani?
Aye.
Trustee Healy?
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas?
Aye.
Trustee Compass?
Aye.
Trustee Radiszewski?
Aye.
Mayor Peacock?
Aye.
Are there any non-scheduled citizens or visitors?
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll.
Trustee Compass?
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas?
Aye.
Trustee Healy?
Aye.
Trustee Malani?
Aye.
Trustee Reardon?
Aye.
Trustee Radiszewski?
Aye.
Mayor Peacock?
Aye. everybody. Call the meeting to order. Call the roll.
Trustee Healy?
Here.
Trustee Katsinas?
Here.
Trustee Malani?
Here.
Trustee Compass?
Here.
Trustee Reardon?
Here.
Trustee Radiszewski?
Here.
Mayor Peacock?
Here.
Please rise for the pledge.
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approval of the November 15, 2021 regular meeting minutes.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Katsinas.
I move to approve the minutes of the Board of Trustee meeting of November 15th, 2021.
Second.
Any questions? Call the roll.
Trustee Katsinas?
Aye.
Trustee Compass?
Aye.
Trustee Healy?
Aye.
Trustee Malani?
Aye.
Trustee Reardon?
Aye.
Trustee Radiszewski?
Aye.
Mayor Peacock?
Aye.
Approval of the November 29, 2021 special budget meeting minutes.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Radiszewski.
I move to approve the minutes of the Board of Trustees' special budget meeting of November 29, 2021.
Second.
Any questions or comments? Call the roll.
Trustee Radiszewski?
Aye.
Trustee Malani?
Aye.
Trustee Healy?
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas?
Aye.
Trustee Compass?
Aye.
Trustee Reardon?
Aye.
Mayor Peacock?
Aye.
Accounts payable approval?
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Healy.
I move to approve the accounts payable for November 16, 2021 through December 6, 2020 in the amount of $31,625,401.57.
Second.
Any questions or comments?
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Katsinas.
just wanted to make a note that this amount includes debt service payments in the amount of $27,787,588.
And just to be clear, those aren't service payments. That's paying off a bond with another one, so from restructuring. So, just so people understand. Any other comments? Call the roll.
Trustee Healy?
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas?
Aye.
Trustee Malani?
Aye.
Trustee Compass?
Aye.
Trustee Reardon?
Aye.
Trustee Radiszewski?
Aye.
Mayor Peacock?
Aye.
Consent agenda?
Consent agenda. Item A, payroll approval. Item B, an ordinance amending Title III, Chapter 9, Special Event Permits of the Village Code. Item C, 2022 maintenance of streets and highways by municipality under the Illinois Highway Code Resolution. Item D, Porsche Orland Park Class 7C renewal resolution. Item E, amend Title 7, Chapter 15, reducing the number of Class B tobacco licenses. Item F, an ordinance amending Title 9, Chapter 7 of the Orland Park Village Code in regard to parking of motor vehicles across designated parking stall lane markings, recommended amended ordinance. Item G, Glen B. Boley Farm, environmental testing and land survey, RFP 21058 award. Item H, iSIMS recruit/onboarding software renewal.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Malani.
move to approve items A through H of the consent agenda.
Second.
Call the roll.
Trustee Malani?
Aye.
Trustee Reardon?
Aye.
Trustee Healy?
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas?
Aye.
Trustee Compass?
Aye.
Trustee Radiszewski?
Aye.
Mayor Peacock?
Aye.
RFP 21-061 Custodial Services.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Healy.
I move to approve awarding RFP 21-061 to Blooming Facility LLC of Justice, Illinois for 2022 through 2024, with the village's option to extend for an additional 2 years for an amount not to exceed the annual board-approved budgeted amounts, and to amend the current custodial services contract with Total Building Services, Inc., if needed, on a month-to-month basis to prevent a lapse in custodial services for $40,864.43 per month, and to authorize the village manager to execute all related contracts subject to village attorney review.
Second.
Any questions or comments?
Yep. Mr. Mayor,
Trustee Reardon.
since we discussed this at the cow, I just looked real quick. There's 18 facilities it looks like they're responsible for. And when you brought up their references, I mean, square footage wise, I think you're exactly right. They're, they can handle the total amount of space. Sometimes that's one big building. Here we got a lot of small ones. So that 90-day provision, I think, is really important to see how they manage, short and quick, visits to each one of our facilities. I mean, the Sportsplex is huge, but other than that, there's these 4,000, 5,000 square foot spaces, and I think it's going to be real important to see how they kind of manage that with staff and, you know, things like that. So, I mean, I agree with all this. I just think that 90-day period is a real important time to look this over.
Any other comments? Call the roll.
Trustee Healy?
Aye.
Trustee Malani?
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas?
Aye.
Trustee Compass?
Aye.
Trustee Reardon?
Aye.
Trustee Radiszewski?
Aye.
Mayor Pico?
Aye.
Large Water Meeting Testing RFP Award.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Compass.
I move to approve awarding RFP 21-062, large meter testing to M.E. Simpson Company Incorporated of Valparaiso, Indiana, for a 3-year contract for 2022, 2023, and 2024 in an amount not to exceed the board-approved budgeted amount, and approve the repair of large water meters at the cost of the manufacturer's list price replacement parts plus 10%, and authorize the village manager to execute all related contracts subject to village attorney review.
Second.
And the one comment I'll make is there's only one bidder here, but that's not unusual because they're the only ones that really do this kind of work. So that's why we see that. And the bids are within, our normal expectation for this, correct? Any other comments? Call the roll.
Trustee Compass?
Aye.
Trustee Radiszewski?
Aye.
Trustee Healy?
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas?
Aye.
Trustee Malani?
Aye.
Trustee Reardon?
Aye.
Mayor Pico?
Aye.
Centennial Park Aquatic Center daily admission fees.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Reardon.
I move to approve increasing the daily admission fee for Centennial Park Aquatic Center to $10 for residents, discounted to $7 for residents after 5 p.m., and to increase non-resident fees to $22 Monday through Thursday and $25 Saturdays, Sundays, and holidays.
Second.
Any questions or comments? Call the roll.
Trustee Reardon?
Aye.
Trustee Malani?
Aye.
Trustee Healy?
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas?
Aye.
Trustee Compass?
Aye.
Trustee Radiszewski?
Aye.
Mayor Pico?
Aye.
Children's Winter Break Camp.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Malani.
move to approve the Recreation and Parks Department hosting a children's winter break camp December 22nd, 2021 to January 4th, 2022 in support of working parents and to create a recreational opportunity for children during the holiday break period.
Second.
Any comments? Call the roll.
Trustee Malani?
Aye.
Trustee Radiszewski?
Aye.
Trustee Healy?
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas?
Aye.
Trustee Compass?
Aye.
Trustee Reardon?
Aye.
Mayor Pico?
Aye.
Resolution making the FY 2022 proposed annual budget available for public inspection and setting a public hearing date.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Malani.
move to adopt a resolution entitled Resolution Making the Fiscal Year 2022 Proposed Annual Budget Available for Public Inspection and Setting a Public Hearing Date.
Second.
Call the roll.
Trustee Malani?
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas?
Aye.
Trustee Healy?
Aye.
Trustee Compass?
Aye.
Trustee Reardon?
Aye.
Trustee Radiszewski?
Aye.
Mayor Pico?
Aye.
Distribution of proceeds from the 2021 Orland Park Veterans Golf Classic and various other fundraising events held by the Orland Park Veterans Commission.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Compass.
I move to approve donating the proceeds from the Orland Park Veterans Golf Classic and the various other fundraisers previously listed to the above specified organizations in the amounts as referenced herein.
Second.
Any comments? Call the roll.
Trustee Compass?
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas?
Aye.
Trustee Healy?
Aye.
Trustee Malani?
Aye.
Trustee Reardon?
Aye.
Trustee Radiszewski?
Aye.
Mayor Pico?
Aye. And before I hand out these checks and these distributions, I first want to welcome all the veterans and veterans groups for coming here today. Do you have a presentation?
I just have a few words to say.
Okay, I'll let you
Darrell
go.
Wertheim
I'll
for the-
let you go first.
Okay. Darrell Wertheim for the Orland Park Veterans Affairs Office on behalf of the Orland Park Veterans Commission. First of all, I'd like to thank Mayor Pico and our Board of Trustees and all the leaders of all of our groups here in Orland Park. Thank you for all the help you've given us this year and all the years in the past. We appreciate that and look forward to 2022. Mayor, one hand.
So I'm going to just give you a brief history and background here. So the mayor's outing goes all the way back to Dugan days, and Owens Open, and then there was the Mayor's Golf Classic, and the history is the mayor gets to choose who the beneficiaries are. That's the history of this. When I took office, I wanted to change the beneficiary to veterans groups, at which point there was an effort made to eliminate the golf outing, the mayor's golf outing. What I pushed for instead, because essentially it was, well, we can't use village staff for this, even though we always have in the past. So what we did is we not only made it for veterans, but we said it'll be all volunteer. And I forced the board to vote. Of course, they voted, after some consternation, voted unanimously to keep it as long as it was all volunteer. As a vet myself, it was really important for me to have a beneficiary that was important to me, and veterans groups, especially those that came before me, are quite important. So for me, it was it was a no-brainer to make you the beneficiaries. That first year, it was all volunteers, and I know that some of the staff that was here during that time is still here. Some of them are in the audience now and aren't staff anymore, but they volunteered. They took days off. They took PTO to volunteer to staff this event. So they took their time off to do this. So kudos to you. And it was the most successful mayor's outing we'd ever had as far as how much we were able to give to the charities that were designated. So fantastic job by staff to do that. Now, since that time, since we got a new board, we elected to allow staff to continue to, in the village, to actually help with this event. And in the 4 years that the vets have been the beneficiary, we have donated over $100,000, closer to $120,000 to veterans groups. So this year's payout is $33,194 in total. So great work to all of staff, to all of the residents and businesses that supported this, but also to all the veterans group who went out and garnered all of this support. So, and all the people who played in it, just everyone in the whole community standing behind this effort in raising over $30,000 for our veterans group. So now it's going to be my pleasure to come down here and hand out checks. So.
Okay, when you hear your organization's named, please step up forward and receive your check for the mayor. First checks we have is from our Orland Park Veterans Golf Classics for 2021. First group up is Veterans Voices Military Group of Orland Park, Illinois. Check for $11,232. Thank you, Veterans Voices. Next check is from the VFW Post 2604, Orland Park, Illinois, $4,856. Next check is the American Legion Post 111, Orland Park, Illinois, $5,106. The Orland Park Veterans Commission has voted to give funds raised. All the funds were raised from our community. Thank you very much, Orland Park. From the Queen of Hearts, our Apache Memorial, Hometown Heroes banners, and various other donations. The commission sat down and looked at all the groups here locally in our community. All these groups are well deserving of their checks today. First group up is Honor Flight Chicago, $3,000. Our next group receiving the donation today is Moraine Valley Junior College Veteran Scholarship, $3,000. Our next group receiving a donation is our Paws Service Dog, Bridgeview, Illinois, $3,000. Our next group is from Abraham Lincoln Cemetery. We sponsored Wreaths Across America this year, $3,000. Good. The Orland Park Veterans Commission has also approved 2 new memorials, the Arapache Memorials for $9,860 over this year in 2021. Cruises Crew, which is a group that sends care packages out monthly to troops, received $2,500. Another approval of $1,000 for Jurling Junior High, and $500 for Illinois Star Warriors, which is a total of $47,054. A round of applause for the Orland Park Veterans Commission. Thank you, gentlemen.
Is there anything the board would like to add?
Mr. Chairman.
Trustee Compass.
So Darrell, Dale, the rest of the commission, veterans, all the volunteers, thank you for all that you do. I've seen it this year as a new trustee, just the amount of work and effort that you put into all of these programs, from the new banner program to the new concert series to memorial events. They're all outstanding. And I encourage everyone in our village to come out and attend these events. They're always extremely well done, and these folks put in a lot of hard work, and so thank you all.
Any other comments?
Mr.
Trustee
Mayor?
Healy?
I'd like to say, just over the last years, like Sean says, you get to see things and observe things, and I have to commend, Darrell on your work for everything. You really put it together for everybody, make it so easy to work with, and you've done a fabulous job, and it's a lot of this, you've done some great effort and made some great accomplishments, so I hope you can keep it going. So the village appreciates you.
Other comments? So I'd like to close with, again, thanking the Veterans Commission for all the hard work they do, and I would be remiss if I didn't point out Tom Dubleby, who I know is not going to like that I pointed him out over here in the corner, but when I arrived here, he was the vets coordinator that Darrell is now, and he did a fantastic job, and he was here through all those fights that we kept to keep the commission, to keep that entire group open, and not have that defunded by the board. And why would you do that with all the great work that we do for veterans? So, Tom, great work for that. Darrell, great job picking up where Tom left off, because he was a tough act to follow, and you've done a great job. So thanks to all of you for all that you do.
Amend Title VII, Chapter 4, Number of Class C Liquor License Ordinance.
Mr. Chairman.
Trustee Compass.
I move to adopt an ordinance entitled, an ordinance amending Title VII, Chapter 4 of the Orland Park Municipal Code regarding the available number of Class C liquor licenses issued by the Village of Orland Park, Cook, and Will Counties, Illinois.
Second.
Call the roll.
Trustee Compass.
Aye.
Trustee Malani.
Aye.
Trustee Healy.
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas.
Aye.
Trustee Reardon.
Aye.
Trustee Radiszewski.
Aye.
Mayor Peacock.
Aye.
Orland Historical Society Asset Transfer Agreement.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Katsinas.
I move to approve the asset purchase agreement between the Village of Orland Park and the Orland Historical Society, and approve and authorize the village manager to execute said agreements subject to village attorney review.
Second.
Any questions or comments?
Mr. Mayor?
Trustee Healy?
I think it's a great opportunity for Orland to take this on. It's something that we have to do. I think that Humphrey House is heart of the community, and it's going to be a challenge for the museum board and the rec department to manage this new asset and keep it maintained and do it. But I know that they're going to do a great job, and I know that this thing is going to be an integral part of the history of Orland for hundreds of years to come. So I think this is a great opportunity and a great move to invest in this property.
Any other comments? So this, so anyone who hasn't seen the John Humphrey House, which is probably few of us, most of us have probably at least seen it and driven by it. It's an 1800s house. It was the house of the founder of Orland Park, and it is on the National Historical Registry, and the Historical Society is basically run into difficulty in maintaining it, keeping it up to speed, and keeping it in good shape. So as we used to call him as a kid when we sled, when we used to sled on the hill by John Humphrey's house, and he never complained, never said anything, and we were like right up next to his house, and we're sledding down that hill. Old man Humphrey had foresight in making sure the village was included in the will in case somebody couldn't take care of it, to make sure that it was still maintained. So even his heirs in their passing made sure that this still stayed a village asset and still cared about the village enough for that. So it's up to us, and yes, it will be a little bit expensive to get it up to speed and get it in good shape, but I think it's important for the community to do that, because that is our heritage, is that house and that building in this town. So, call the roll.
Trustee Katsinas?
Aye.
Trustee Rashevsky?
Aye.
Trustee Healy?
Aye.
Trustee Malani?
Aye.
Trustee Compass?
Aye.
Trustee Reardon?
Aye.
Mayor Pico?
Aye.
Is there anyone here to speak? Board comments?
Board comments. Trustee Radiszewski.
Oh.
So shock you get to go first.
I want to thank everybody for coming out for the parade that we had last Sunday. It was really nice, nicely done. Thank you for everybody for, putting that together. I know there was a lot of work that went into it, and it was a good time. I think, it was very well attended. I think people enjoyed it. So thank you to everybody who was involved. Also want to remind everybody about the Toys for Tots drive. There's several, you can look online, several building facilities that are accepting. You can do it here at Village Hall, the Health Center, Sportsplex. You can make a donation. And also they're accepting donations for paws. So they're looking for some supplies. So if you have some extra blankets, different supplies for the pets, keep the animals and the kids in mind. That's it. Thank you.
Trustee Healy.
I also had a great time at the parade, and was surprised how good a time I had. It was fun, and the tree lighting again was great. I hope anybody who missed it should get the opportunity again next year. It's going to be even more fun. My second thing is that, looking at the veterans here, they stepped forward when it was their time to step forward. And right now, I think most of middle America or whatever, they need to step forward and stand up for their rights and stand up for what needs to be done, stand up for law and order. And, and I think we should follow the example of those veterans, but I just wish more people would follow their example. And over the weekend, I also know the third and final thing is I noticed that there was a lot of destruction and violence going on at Grant Park downtown with the mob of kids beating up some people and all that. And I again go back to, thank God I live in Orland Park where we have, safety and all that, and it makes me, again, really appreciate, one, the need for people to step forward and for parents to take a more active role, but also it emphasizes how, I don't take it for granted that we live in a safe neighborhood and all that. We really do thank our policemen for keeping us safe, and it can never be reinforced enough. Thanks.
Trustee Reardon.
Yeah, on that same note, I was going to, point out holiday season. Again, we see the reports, even pre-holiday, about what our police are going through in terms of, crime and smash and grabs and mobs and groups and stuff. And so I know they're out there working very diligent for us, so we can enjoy the holidays. So hopefully, we'll see each other again before Christmas, but during the season that we, really appreciate the work they're doing away from their families. Secondly, the budget process. That was the first time I went through that, and I didn't get a chance really to say something at the end of that. You can tell the hard work that each one of you put into that budget. You can tell you care. I mean, the way you gave your presentations, you really know your area and what is important and what you're trying to accomplish, going forward. So I wanted to show appreciation for that for someone going through it for the first time. It was eye-opening to me about how well the town has done with so many headwinds, with so many things that I've learned over these first 6 months of doing this, problems that we have that pop up that cost $1 million, a pond, a re-engineering, a Tinley Creek, all these things that have happened that I've learned about, I should say, even though I've lived here 10, 12 years, all these things that are out there that are, that come up sporadically and are not, I say when you redo a house, it's like nice to put a new kitchen in, but when you need new pipes in or you need new plumbing, it's not as much fun. You got to spend money on that stuff too. And so all the things that we're still able to do for the people of Orland, you guys are able to put together to help us, do these things for the people of Orland is really kind of stunning, and how well we are positioned to continue to do that and hopefully get some of this, what I'll call garbage, behind us. So really appreciate all of your efforts on that. It was well put together. It was organized. I can understand it all, which is saying something. So thank you.
Trustee Compass.
So to all those that are celebrating this last night of Hanukkah, Hanukkah Sameach, I hope that you had a very joyous holiday. And speaking of holidays, I just wanted to congratulate staff as well on the very successful holiday parade for opening up to the lighting of the Christmas tree. It's been about 3 decades since I've been in a parade rather than watching one, so it was a lot of fun. Had a great time, and it was great seeing the incredible turnout that we had there. It's just a wonderful example of incorporating something new into a tradition and making the whole event even more enjoyable, so well done to all that were involved with that. I do want to underscore Trustee Razewski's point on Toys for Tots charity. We're hosting that in support of the Marine Corps Veterans charity. Majority that celebrate Christmas, of us that celebrate Christmas, are lucky enough to have a youth full of memories of Christmas morning. While I cannot remember precisely what I received each year, the act of giving and receiving gifts was confirmation of love and belonging. So that confirmation is something that we could all share with a child in need. And so there are just a few days left for the Toys for Tots drive. I believe it's ending on Friday, December 10th, so that we can get the toys out to the children in time. Please consider bringing a new unwrapped gift to one of the following locations: Village Hall, Police Department, Sportsplex, Orland Park, Health and Fitness Center, or the Cultural Center. I know it was already mentioned, but I wanted to make sure it was underscored. Lastly, what should not be a part of the spirit of giving would be the gift of your vehicle to thieves. So once again, please keep your cars locked while in the driveway and keep the valuables out of sight. We've had some concerns of that, not just here in Orland Park, but in the surrounding communities. So please lock up tight, make sure you keep your car. That's not something you want to give as a gift. With that, I'll end my comments with Merry Christmas.
Trustee Malani.
Well, thank you, everybody, for coming, and definitely thank you again to the veterans groups that were here tonight. I think those were some great gifts for them to further the work that they do with the veterans, because I believe they fought for our freedoms that we sometimes take for granted here. So I think just take a moment here to reflect on what they've been through and the types of support that money can provide to those groups. So we appreciate them coming tonight. Also, hearing the, bringing up smash and grabs and theft and things like that are going on in the city. That's why we support our police department here in Orland Park. We're proactive. We take things into consideration that we make sure that those things don't happen. So you don't hear about them here in Orland Park. So it's a safe place to go out, go shopping, and to enjoy the Christmas and holiday seasons, because you can go out there and enjoy it and feel safe. Which also, on the lines of shopping, make sure you check out the shopop.org website and download the Orland Park Perks app to enhance your shopping experience as you're going through Orland Park. And make sure you shop local at all of our local establishments. And thank you, everybody that came to the holiday parade. It was great to see all the families lining Ravidia Ave room, being able to talk with people, being able to shake people's hands, and be able to see the kids out there enjoying themselves was really a great thing. And once again, it's our staff that makes those things happen. We can't do this work without you guys. So we appreciate everything you've done this year. It's been an interesting year and a half, almost 2 years now. We've had some roadblocks, but you guys keep fighting hard and getting through them, so thank you.
Trustee Katsinas.
Must be on the naughty list tonight, the last one. Wanted to thank everyone for turning out for the parade, and especially staff, but there is a special person that shows up at every Christmas event, and that's Dan McMillan. Dan McMillan does an outstanding job in his role as the guy with the red hat, so not to burst anybody's bubble, but he did a wonderful job with the kids, and just to see so many people together at one time, happy and smiles on their face. Truly, it was the spirit of the season. Very, very nice. And with that, to reiterate what Trustee Milani said, you can consider shopping local and supporting our small businesses, whether it be with gift certificates from our restaurant, service gift certificates from our beauty salons, nail, massage places. Anything you can do to support local businesses is greatly appreciated, as they really support a lot of our programs that the village offers. So thank you.
Thank you. And as Trustee Katsina said, she's mistaken. She's not last. So that usually falls to me. So second to last. And that's not a in the doghouse spot. You get to speak after everybody else. So you get to clean up anything that they say wrong. So we continue to see, we heard a little bit tonight, we continue to see Kim Fox, Chief Justice Evans, and the legislature put criminals ahead of the safety of residents, the safety of our police officers. At every meeting, it seems like we have a new incident, something else that has happened in the last 2 weeks. And here we have another one. This is no exception this meeting's no exception. A convicted felon was taken into custody and transported to Orland Park Police Headquarters, where he was charged with felon in possession of a weapon, which is a Class 1 felony, 2 counts of possession of controlled substances with intent to deliver, Class 3 felony, and 4 counts of possession of a controlled substance, Class 4 felonies. With my math, that would be 7 felonies. Now, he was arrested on 11/30/2021. On 12/1/2021, Judge Havis issued a $10,000 I-bond, and for those of you who don't know what an I-bond is, that's on his own recognizance, and he was released. So we have someone, a previously convicted felon, charged for a change by the Cook County State's Attorney, then released after committing 7 felonies, released on his own recognizance. And this is a previously convicted felon. So if we wonder why we're having these problems in Chicago and throughout Cook County, I don't think it takes much to figure that out. The question I have is, when is it going to stop? When are we going to learn from these mistakes and stop putting our residents and our police officers at risk? Because that's what we're doing. Also, every meeting, I get emails in between the meetings like this. A note that said that our police officers were professional, cool, kind, and very professional detectives. And that's John Folliard and Chris Lacerdo did a great job. And that's from the staff at the Orland Park Storage Mart. So that also happens because of our outstanding police department and the great work that they do. I would also like to point out that we should be shopping local, and our mall continues to be the safest mall in the Chicagoland region. The mall has instituted the youth supervision policy, which I believe we've had 1 theft since March on a Friday or Saturday during the youth supervision, and that was actually not perpetrated by someone under 18. That was actually an adult that did it. So 1 since March during those times. And they have extended that policy to include all of winter break for the students, because we know that students don't have a place to go during winter break, so they may come to the mall and create a little havoc and do what teenagers sometimes do and, get a little rambunctious. So that policy is in place for that as well, to make sure they are supervised by adults. So we take every effort, and the mall is taking every effort to ensure that it's a family-friendly environment over at the mall, and you can enjoy shopping safely in a nice family environment and spend your money locally. So I encourage that. I want to thank staff for all of their hard work during the budget process. Also, the Christmas tree lighting, the parade, first parade, and it was outstanding, except for the mayor slowing down the traffic a little bit and getting us a little backed up. So I'll fix that next year.
We almost ran out of candy, though, yeah.
What's that?
So we almost ran out of candy, so
We
we can't
almost
have...
ran out of candy, so I think next year we're going to be throwing the candy instead of handing the candy. But it was a great event, and staff worked really hard to make that happen, so, another outstanding job. And anyone who hasn't come out and seen the Christmas lights out in front of the Village Hall, you should. They look great. The North Pole Express also was a success, and as mentioned, Toys for Tots is ongoing for another few days, so please feel free to donate toys for children that don't have everything that we have here in Orland Park. All of this is a team effort, and the team has done a great job, so thank you very much. I'll entertain a motion to go into executive session.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Compass.
I move to go into executive session for A, approval of minutes, B, the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific village employees, C, pending litigation against, affecting, or on behalf of the village, or when found by the board that such action is probable or imminent.
Second.
Call the roll.
Trustee Compass?
Aye.
Trustee Reardon?
Aye.
Trustee Healy?
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas?
Aye.
Trustee Malani?
Aye.
Trustee Radiszewski?
Aye.
Mayor Pico?
Aye. Entering executive session.